There's hundreds, there's thousands of languages. And God speaks French. If God speaks French, but you're not in your word and you're studying French and you know how to speak French, he'll be talking, but you can't understand a word that's coming out of his mouth.
Mm.
Because you don't know his language. It's the same thing with the Bible. This is a language. And God says that. When the guy went to Jesus and he said, look, I want you to come. Can you come heal my daughter? Or my son? And then he was like, no. He sent for Jesus. Then he sent people like, look, you don't even got to come. All you got to do is speak it and it'll happen. And then Jesus is like, oh, shoot. Like, look, what kind of faith is this?
Mm-hmm.
I don't hear that often. That's special because he began to speak Jesus' language. He said, look, I got men. If I go, I lead men. If I tell my man to do something, he's going to do it because of my position of authority. He understands God. He understands God's language. So he began to speak God's language. And then you can communicate. And once there's some communication, then something can happen. If I'm sitting there talking, we talking two different languages, we ain't going to know what to do. But he began to speak God's language. And then when he began to speak God's language and he understand God, that's when there was a manifestation of something. And then he was like, look, you don't got to come. When I tell somebody to do something, they go ahead and do it because I'm in a position of authority. I believe in your authority, and I know if you say something, you don't even got to come to my house. Just speak it and it'll happen. And then Jesus is like, oh, shoot, like, I haven't seen anybody with that type of understanding, with that type of faith. And then he was saying, look, it's done. That's it. That's all I need to hear. It's done. And then it was done. We don't speak God's language anymore. The Christians, the people in the church today, don't speak God's language. We got to get to that position where we understand God and we can hear him. We speak in his language because we know the word. Me, I don't know French. And this is the same thing. We were born sinners. I'm born in America. I don't speak French. I don't.
Right.
I'm born American. I speak English. That's the way I was born. That's the language. That's my native language. As people, our native language is sin. We're sinners. Oh, God is speaking now.
Wow.
God is speaking. Our native language is sin. And God's saying, look, this ain't it. You want to get with me? You got to be born again. You got to begin to speak French. Because we can't communicate. In your nature, the way you are, somebody who just speak French and somebody who just speak English, they can't communicate.
Wow.
So when you learn your French, for me as an American, I got to go to school. Somebody got to teach me French. And now I know French. And now we can communicate. I've been changed. My mind's been renewed. I used to think one language, one way. And now my mindset is changing. Now I can speak a different language. Now we can communicate. That's how it is. That's what it is, man. I speak it right, man.
That was decent.
That was decent.